Aloha, everyone. I'm not sure who they are, but whoever they are, they sure don't want to see me get very short this market, do they? The Nasdaq fell 2.94% today. Volume was well above average, higher than yesterday's volume by quite a bit. The S&P 500 also was down 2.96. Volume was also higher than the day before, and the Russell 2000 was down 2.71, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 2.84%. Bottom line, the selling was very similar across the board, across all sectors, across all market cap ranges, and volume was heavier, giving a clear distribution day. However, with this market, the gapping is just starting to really get to me. And unfortunately, I have to continue to watch TVIX run. Once again, TVIX was a long signal back here. If this thing would have hit my limits as of today, in a little over 1 week, we would have a 183% gain on 2.5% of our account capital. That would be a nice little victory considering what the market's going through. But once again, I made a huge mistake that day, and I saw it gapping up in the morning, and I did not switch half my orders to a market order. The same thing was on DXD. So instead of getting long DXD, that was the day before, so TVIX was the day after. Wow. Damn. Yeah, because I didn't go. Was it that day? It couldn't have been that day, so it had been that day. Yep. So DXD was the day before, so I missed DXD. It gapped up on me. Nothing I could do there. And then and I didn't split it up half-half, which I really didn't think it was prudent. But TVIX that morning should have split it up half-half, didn't. Now in regret as it's moved to 183%. Even better yet, the UVXY calls that we were looking at even before that, the ones that were at $3, they are now over $60. So quite a move off the lows. Congratulations to Paul, who nailed it in the chat room. But this market, with its gapping, just doesn't allow me to get, position like I did. If you remember, of course you remember, SDS and UGLD were two new hedging signals yesterday. BIS was a hedging ad. Once again, this morning, the market is gapping down huge, and this time I don't do it and keep all my orders as limit. I go ahead and split them up. So on BIS, I went ahead and split up my order half and half. Market order got hit. Limit order just barely missed. UGLD, same thing. Split it up half and half. Half market, half limit. Once again, market order got hit, obviously, and my limit was missed by 1 cent. I have zero luck normally in the market, and this just continues a pattern that I've been used to my entire life. If it wasn't for skill, I would be completely fucked. So SDS did the same similar situation, gapping up huge, going right past my limits, split my limit market order up 50-50. And this goes back to a point that we just haven't seen before. This market is extremely weak. This is not normal. You don't normally have two gaps in a row like we saw on Friday and Monday last week, 2 weeks ago Friday and Monday last week, and then not fill it. But this time we did fill those gaps. However, I didn't keep those initial short positions on. Probably should have with like the DXD or whatever, but you know what, it's okay. We still have short positions and they're still working out. But the fact that this market is gapping down like it is and then doesn't back and fill immediately and just continues to sell off in heavy volume tells me that something's really wrong out there. And don't forget, this is just September 1st. This is historically, seasonally, the absolute worst month of the year for all indexes, no matter how far back you go into time. And October's going to be a horrible first 2 weeks normally if you're in a downtrend during August, September. So August and September, the two weakest months of the year, going back to 1950, going back to 1929, the third and first worst month of the year. So with August looking at how it did, being the second and third worst month, how do you think September is going to be, especially with price confirming the seasonality? So I continue to stress to exercise extreme caution. Once again, this evening, no long signals, nothing flagged. Well, that's not completely true. I am still long LHCG. It's one of 19 stocks I'm still tracking on an end-of-day basis. Unfortunately, I no longer have a position in LHCG on my end. I am completely out of it. I believe I was fully taken out on this day right here, obviously the 24th, so I was completely knocked out of it. Today it's giving a pocket pivot point signal on a small surge in BOP and big surge in volume right at the 50-day moving average. Unfortunately, that base isn't long enough. In an uptrending, strong bull market where our top stocks are moving, this is not only a CAN-SIM quality stock, but it's not really a pre-perfect speculator scan. It's a perfect speculator scan quality stock that isn't $50 a share. One of the requirements of being a perfect speculator scan quality stock is it has to be at least $50 per share, as per the rules from the book by Brad Kodeshwar. This is a $44 a share stock. So what I have is I have a scan that looks for stocks that qualify for everything else, but are above $40, not yet $50 also. LHCG is in there. This would have been a new or an ad signal no matter what if I was still long, but in this market, don't touch it. It's not worth it. It just isn't. The only place that continue to happen on my end continue to be intraday. Ford, nice breakout at the end of the day, had a nice strong morning. It based out nicely all mid-afternoon long, and then in the final hour broke out, moved higher, stayed strong to the close. Impressive move. Once again, it's all about day trading the names that are in play in the morning. TRVN was also another one. This one was chat rooms, day trading chat rooms were all over it. Big gap up, and it ran for 1 point from 811 all the way to 1064. Once again, if you're looking to make money in this market on the long side, you need to focus on the intraday morning gappers on huge volume. You either buy the morning breakouts when they break out of a small range, normally happens within 5-10 minutes, and or you wait and see how it performs after the morning, see how it trades midday, and if you can get a final hour. If you got big support into the final hour, you get long off support with a stop right below those levels, and or you buy on the breakout. And if it runs into the end of the day, you maybe hold it in the morning for a possible gap up. But it's still risky in this market. But besides the intraday trades, I don't see anything. LHCG was it. I just have nothing. There's breakdowns everywhere. Basically, everything looks like what I'm showing you now on Netflix. So this is what everything looks like. That a big sell-off. Lower volume rally, now running back over. DXCM is another stock I'm following on an end-of-day basis. You can see a similar pattern there. ALGT was a recent perfect speculator scan quality stock. This is the pattern that I see everywhere in the market, just throwing up a couple of stocks. So that's that. The only intraday sell stop to hit for me today, Tree. As you can see here, Tree's low was 100.01. That means if it trades to 100, I am out. Guess what it traded to today? At the low of the day, 100. So guess who doesn't have a position in Tree anymore? Me. On an end-of-day basis, though, it's still a hold. But the bottom line is we're starting now to see those few stocks that I have completely fail. And on that note, also on an end-of-day basis, ICUI, which I'm still long, is a 50% sell. It's breaking below the 20-day moving average here, the magenta line, on above average volume. So that's technically a 50% sell signal. But it traded down to 108.96. My final sell stop is 108.74, so it only came about 22 cents away from hitting my final sell stop. But ICUI, 50% sell on an end-of-day basis. And then LMAT, I've already been shaken out of all of it. I believe it was on this day right here on the 21st. But it's managed to hold my ultimate final sell stop that was put on the books following the initial long position at 1242, but after it failed immediately, the new sell stop became a final sell stop, and on an end-of-day basis became a close below 1275. Today it's closing at 1261. That now establishes a lower set of highs, one lower set, two lower set, and now a lower set of lows. One lower set, a second lower set. So with lower highs and lower lows, LMAT is a full sell overall. And that's it. Besides that, I am now only long 5 stocks in my portfolio. That's stocks, not inverse ETFs. I think I have 7 of those now, maybe 6, I'm not sure. We can actually look really quick. And these are all the stocks that we're still tracking. We're still tracking 19 stocks, so that means I have 7 inverse ETF positions, at least I'm tracking. TVIX, TEX, SRTY, SDS, DXD, BIS are all good. Those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the 7th one, UGLD. And then these are the rest of the longs that we're still tracking on an end-of-day basis. I'll circulate through those really quick. LHCG, WNS, Coke, FIX, ANAC, ADPT, EPAM, HCKT, SKX, SERV, AMSG, ICUI, ABMD, PACE, TILE, FDEF, AVOL, TREE, and DXCM. And if there's anything you notice about them on the most extreme short term, they're going to probably all fail before they end up hitting new highs.